Welcome back to Anything You Want, the place where stories breathe, where fame meets feeling, and where reality quietly hides behind the glitter of celebrity life. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell so you never miss the truth behind the lights, and if you'd like to support our work, remember, your click on the join button keeps these stories alive. Tonight, we unfold a story that doesn't begin with applause or cameras, but with the cold, metallic echo of a hospital corridor. A story that tore the veil between the public and the personal, and changed the way an entire nation looked at one of its brightest stars, Sıla Türkoğlu. It began as just another day. A day filled with scripts, rehearsals, calls, and the eternal rhythm of deadlines that every actor learns to live with. Sıla was known for her precision, always composed, always punctual, a woman who controlled every fragment of her world with quiet discipline. But fate has a cruel way of testing even the strongest architecture of routine. The phone rang, and with it, everything broke. On the other end of the line, a trembling voice told her what no one is ever ready to hear. Halil İbrahim had been in an accident. She left everything, filming schedules, planned interviews, even her phone buzzing with unanswered calls, and went straight to the hospital. There, under the cruel fluorescent lights, Sıla Türkoğlu was no longer the adored actress of millions. She was simply a woman, fragile, trembling, human. She didn't ask for VIP treatment or security escorts. She only asked one thing: where is he? Witnesses say she stood outside the treatment room for hours, her hands clasped, her lips moving soundlessly as if she was praying. She didn't post, didn't perform, she just waited. Because when love is real, the waiting itself becomes an act of devotion. And when the doctors finally said, "He's stable," something within her broke apart and reassembled all at once. Halil survived. But Sıla was never the same again. After that night, the mirror reflected someone new, someone who understood that life can shatter in a heartbeat, and that not every tomorrow is guaranteed. Friends noticed the transformation before the media did. She stopped attending certain parties, stopped accepting projects that felt hollow, and began saying no, not out of arrogance, but out of clarity. She learned who would stand beside her if the world collapsed, a close friend confided. And who would vanish before the dust settled. Sıla, who once navigated her career like a strategist, began making choices guided by instinct, not by contracts. She rejected roles that didn't align with her heart. She distanced herself from the noisy circle of superficial friends who only existed for champagne toasts and camera flashes. And then came that interview, brief, spontaneous, and unforgettable. Asked about love, she smiled faintly and said, "Sometimes you need to see someone fragile to remember how much you love them strong." She didn't mention Halil's name, but she didn't need to. The silence after her words spoke louder than any confirmation. The story of that accident, and everything it awakened, soon became larger than the two people at its center. For years, tabloids had painted Sıla and Halil as a standard television couple, attractive, talented, admired, yet confined to the glossy surface of celebrity life. But after the accident, that illusion crumbled. Fans began to see them differently, not as icons, but as souls. Imperfect, vulnerable, real. And perhaps that's what moved the public most, realizing that behind every red carpet smile, there beats a heart just as terrified of losing love as anyone else's. Media outlets tried to twist it, of course. They searched for scandal, for drama, for a headline that could sell. Secret romance reignited? Tragedy reunites the stars? But this time, people refused to buy the spectacle. The online comments became a wall of protection. "Don't sensationalize this," wrote one fan. "This isn't gossip, this is life." Another added, "Not all love needs a label to be real." And perhaps that was the miracle of this story. For once, the public chose respect over curiosity. Meanwhile, away from the spotlight, Sıla and Halil began to move differently through the world. Those who worked with them noticed the change immediately. She was softer, more introspective; he was quieter, more grounded. It was later revealed that Sıla had begun accompanying him to his medical checkups, always discreetly, without press or entourage. Nurses recalled seeing her sitting alone in the waiting area, a book open on her lap, her fingers resting motionless on a page she'd read 100 times but couldn't absorb. There was no dramatization, no scene, only presence. Presence, after all, is the purest language of love. Halil, too, began to shift. He started refusing certain projects that demanded constant publicity. He no longer wanted to play the game of red carpets and empty compliments. Instead, he spent more time in quiet places, surrounded by real friends or no one at all. A confidant later quoted him saying, "Be alone where it's worth being." There was no press statement, no grand announcement, yet the air between them changed. When they appeared together at industry events, always respectful, always composed, their silence spoke of something more unbreakable than any official confirmation. A glance across the room, a faint smile when their eyes met, these small gestures carried the weight of everything unspoken. Dear viewers, as you listen to this, I want to ask you something, not as followers, but as people who've lived through love and loss. Have you ever experienced a moment that forced you to rearrange your soul? A moment that taught you what truly matters? If this story touches something in you, take a second to hit that like button, leave a comment below, and tell us what you think about love, about timing, about fate. And don't forget, by joining Anything You Want as a channel member, you're helping us continue to tell these stories with the depth and respect they deserve. Back to Sıla. The woman who once measured her life in shooting schedules now measures it in sunrises and silences. She no longer rushes, she listens. Those close to her say she keeps a quiet promise in her heart, to never postpone affection, to never let pride speak louder than care. And Halil? He's alive not only because of medical intervention but because, that night, someone refused to let go. Someone who stood outside a door believing that love could hold on, even against the machinery of fate. Today, when the two of them pass by photographers, when their names trend again, people don't shout gossip, they whisper something else, respect. Because what they share, whatever it is called, has transcended the usual script. It's not performance. It's not nostalgia. It's recognition, the quiet gratitude of two people who saw how close they came to losing everything. So, the next time you scroll past a headline about Sıla Türkoğlu, remember that behind the glamour lies a woman who rebuilt her heart from silence. And when you see Halil İbrahim Ceyhan smile on screen again, know that his story isn't one of tragedy, but of awakening, a man who learned that every breath is a second chance. Maybe that's why this story resonates so deeply, because it reminds us that love isn't only the laughter we share, but also the fear of losing it. Thank you for watching Anything You Want. Don't forget to subscribe, tap the bell icon, and if this story touched your heart, support us by clicking the join button below. Together, we'll keep uncovering the untold, the unseen, and the unforgettable moments that make fame human. Because here, at Anything You Want, we don't just tell stories, we remember what it means to feel them.